And then you have, the protein. We can talk about protein cycling through your menstrual cycle as well, because I think that we should be protein cycling through there as well for driving driving muscle protein synthesis too. But protein in general, I like it to be for women about the size of your palm. Mark Hyman talks about it as a the word condiment. It's like, it should be like a condiment, like the size of your, which I think is so clever. So I take that from him. So if you're ever a child and you had, French fries and you were like, oh, I have to put ketchup next to it. The amount of ketchup that you would sort of squeeze is about the amount of protein. If you're doing a ketogenic diet, that you would be like, it's a moderate amount of protein, maybe 20 to 30% of your protein intake. And I would cycle that, just while we're talking about proteins. I'm a big proponent of animal products as your protein source, but I am open and loving to those who choose to be vegetarian or vegan. You just need more. You will just be mindful that whenever you are choosing vegetarian protein options, that in order to get the amount of leucine, in order to get the amount of muscle protein synthesis from vegetarian sources, you're going to need more calories. So just kind of be mindful of that. But I like to cycle protein through a woman's menstrual cycle. So week 1, like the bleed, I definitely like it to be like a classic keto diet. Like that's a time when you can play with fasting. That's a time when you can play with keto. In week 2, where we're seeing testosterone peaking right before ovulation, that time when you're feeling kind of flirty and sexy. This is also a time, like I said, do heavy weights, but also up your protein consumption, because the thing that we know about protein is that it drives something called MPS, muscle protein synthesis, which just does what it sounds like. It makes protein, makes muscle protein. So you need about 2 to 2.5 grams of leucine. So when we're thinking about like like a whey protein, it might be 20 to 25 grams of protein to start that initiate. Like that's sort of like the leucine is like the forewoman. She's the kind of girl that comes in and gets the gears started in order to start making protein. So you need a minimum of about 20 to 25 grams of protein to start that. During that week, right before your ovulation, when your testosterone is, I love for you to be having somewhere between 40 and around 40 to 50 grams per meal. There's also the whole conversation around like anabolic resistance as we age and stuff, but like, we'll keep it with like keto, like, 20 to 25 grams or 20% of your macronutrients in week 1. I like to up it to about 40% in week 2. And then in week 3, I cycle the keto. So keto on and off. So one day doing a classic keto ratio, which would be about 70% fat, 20% protein. And then the fill would be carbohydrates, like 10% carbohydrates. And then the other days we start to increase, we will do a carb up day with more fibrous vegetables, root vegetables, turnips, even things like squash when it's in season.
Hey, this is Ari. I hope you enjoyed this video. And one more thing before you go. Actually, 2 more things. One is, if you enjoyed this particular little clip, the link to the full-length podcast is in the description down below. So make sure to check that out. Also, one more thing. Let me ask you a question. What if I could show you how to double your energy levels and dramatically improve your brain function, reducing your anxiety and depression to a degree on par with antidepressant drugs, but without the side effects? Sound pretty interesting? Well, there are, in fact, numerous compounds that can do this, that have been shown to do this. And I'll take you through just a few of these very briefly. One of them is rhodiola rosea. And this has been shown in studies, rhodiola rosea extract in people with stress-related fatigue and exhaustion, to cut their levels of fatigue and brain fog in half in less than a month. Just this one compound. There's another compound in my formula Energenesis called NT factor phospholipids that's been shown to help repair mitochondrial membranes and mitochondrial health to the level of healthy 29-year-olds taking people with deteriorated mitochondria who are over the age of 65, restoring it to the level of healthy 29-year-olds. And that has been shown in numerous studies in various types of chronic fatigue, aging-associated chronic fatigue, obesity-related chronic fatigue syndrome, to increase energy levels by 30 to 45% in the span of 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the specific study. So dramatic improvements in a very, very short period of time. Two more compounds that are amazing, I highly recommend, that are in my formula, Ultra Brain, along with Rhodiola rosea. Saffron extract. This has been shown to increase levels of, improve your mood, I should say, and decrease levels of depression on par with fluoxetine, which is Prozac. And not only that, but with fewer side effects. It's much safer and much less likely to cause negative effects than antidepressant drugs are. Acetyl L-carnitine is another compound that's been shown to dramatically improve brain health in older adults. It also improve energy levels in older adults with chronic fatigue by between 40 to 50% in just the span of 2 to 4 months. And the last thing I'll mention here is acetyl L-carnitine has also been compared to antidepressant drugs and been shown, like saffron, to be as effective as antidepressant drugs in combating depression, but without the harmful side effects that so often occur with the drugs. So this is just a small sampling of the over 35 compounds that are in my formulas, Energenesis and Ultra Brain, that are all proven to dramatically improve energy levels, mitochondrial health, and brain health, and much, much more. And I highly recommend that you go check these out. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety or brain fog, if you're struggling with stress-related exhaustion and burnout, if you're struggling with chronic fatigue, go check out these formulas, give them a shot. I promise you are going to be blown away by the results. And like I said, the science has already proven that these things work. So you don't have to just take my word for it. There's lots of research to support that, and I'll even link to some of that research down below so you can verify everything that I just said for yourself. So the links to those studies will be in the description for this video down below. So check them out. Check out the formulas on theenergyblueprint.com. Again, Energenesis is the mitochondrial formula, and Ultra Brain is our brain formula. Check them out, try them out, and I think you're going to be blown away by the results. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.